All right, y'all, it's kind of time for a bit of a truth bomb. How often do you find yourself making assumptions about a person, about a situation, about an event? We all do it because this is how our brains work. How we make sense of our experiences is we create a narrative, we create a story. And those stories are based on various assumptions about another person's intention, about what we think is true. The list goes on and on. Here's the thing where we get into trouble is when we just act and move forward and believe that narrative and that story we are telling ourselves. We believe our assumptions to be true without actually checking out if they are in fact true. Why this matters so much is so much of those assumptions we are making are actually rooted in our faulty programming that is predominantly head trash. And we could do a whole other session about that. And a lot of times those assumptions magnify our fears, our worries, and we don't even realize it. So we assume the worst about people, the worst about situations, about intentions, because we are on high alert for perceived threats and we tend to catastrophize, whether we realize it or not, or want to admit it or not. And so the brave thing to do is that when we have an assumption about something, about someone, instead of just running forward as if that were true and letting that guide our behaviors, is we go check out our stories, fact check whether or not that is true. So that could mean going up to a person and saying, hey, I wanted to just check out something with you because when XYZ happened, the story that I'm making up or telling myself is this, and I just wanted to see. Or it might be going up to someone and saying, hey, I noticed this going on yesterday or in the meeting. I just wanted to check out, is everything okay? Or is there anything you and I need to clear up? And they might say, yeah. And then they've surfaced whatever it might be. Or they're like, no, it's totally fine. And then you can let that stuff chill out. But what happens instead is we either go into a hole and start ruminating and catastrophizing ourselves, or we start venting and complaining and spreading crap to other people, none of which is helpful, none of which is brave. And so, my invitation and my challenge to you this week is notice where you're making an assumption and challenge yourself of how could I go fact check that story? And if there's not a way to actually fact check it, then we can at least within ourselves go, how might this story not be true? Or is this story actually true? How do I know it's true? And what am I gaining by holding on to the story? Or what is it costing me to hold on to the story? And see if that can loosen its grips a little bit. I would love to hear what opens up for you as you put this one into practice. And remember, when we fact check our stories rather than assuming, we have a greater opportunity to let our sparkle shine.